During the 1840s to the start of the Civil War, slavery was still a big component of society. Though African Americans were able to coexist as freedmen in the North, the situation was antithetical in the South. Slaves were the main source for labor in the South for large plantations, and as a result, the slave market was huge in the South. In the South existed an idea of paternalist ethos, a social obligation for slave owners to treat their slaves with kindness, and though some owners abided by this obligation, this was not always the case. Originating from the life of Solomon Northup, the film delineates Solomon's experience during pre-Civil War times, when he was kidnapped to be sold into slavery. While he was originally a successful freedman with a wife and 2 children, his life changes when 2 white men disguised as showmen abduct him. As he spends 12 years as a slave in the South, he experiences and sees the cruelties of slavery. Solomon is eventually able to return to his family after years of persistent efforts to escape, and at the end of the film is reunited with his family members already all grown up.
Various types of maltreatment against African Americans can be seen in the film, especially physical violence, splitting apart of families, and denied access to education. Physical abuse, which included whipping, beating, or even hanging, was often inflicted on slaves by owners as a way to reprimand or enforce orders. As seen in the film, beatings occurred constantly, and Solomon is almost hung for talking back against his master. The entire situation begins when his master approaches Solomon while he is building a house as he was instructed. When the master asks him if Solomon is doing the job correctly, and Solomon replies yes, the master for no reason fumes in anger and decides to punish Solomon.
Tell you to get a keg of nails?
So I did.
God damn you, I thought you knowed something.
I did as instructed. If there's something wrong, it's wrong with the instruction.
Occasions like this were common, and slaves did not have to commit a major crime to be punished. As writers Kevin Hillstrom and Laurie Collier Hillstrom remarks, other masters treated their slaves like livestock. Some slaveholders whipped or beat slaves who displeased them for practically any reason. The fact that it was commonplace and easy to physically abuse one slave in the South violated basic human rights of slaves.
As slaves were sold in the slave market, families were often separated and sold to different owners. Though Hillstrom mentions that some slave owners consciously avoided separating family members to allow purchased slaves to adapt quicker to their new environment, they still did not prevent slaveholders from doing the opposite. Slaveholders often sold slaves to areas far away, forcing families to dissolve. This exact event happens in the film, where a mother of 2 children has to say goodbye to both of them as they are sold to different owners.
You got 2.
Mr. Chapin.
This one's crying. Why is this one crying?
Separated from her children.
Oh, dear.
Couldn't be helped.
Poor woman.
Mr. Chapin. Yeah.
Finally, slaves were discouraged from seeking education, and educated slaves were often seen as dangerous. After experiencing multiple slave revolts in 1813, the South fell into a state of disbelief. Southern legislatures blamed education for instilling rebellious thoughts in slaves, leading to laws passed by them to prevent blacks from educating themselves. In this clip, Solomon, also known as Platt, is told to not pursue education by his master's wife.
This is a list of goods and sundries. You will take it to be filled and return immediately. Take your tag. Tell Bartholomew to add it to our debt.
Yes, miss.
Where are you from, Platt?
I told him.
Tell me again.
Washington.
Who were your master?
Master named Freeman.
Was he a learned man?
I suppose so.
He learned you to read?
A word, here or there. But I've no understanding of the written text.
Don't trouble yourself with it. Same as the rest, Master brought you here to work, that's all. Any more will earn you 100 lashes.
In conclusion, slaves were able to become targets of cruel beatings or even execution for no reasonable explanation. Next, families of slaves are often sold to different owners, splitting up family members from each other. Finally, education was forbidden to slaves. These were few of the ways slaves were treated poorly in the South before the Civil War, showing that slavery indeed involved inhumane treatment of subjects.